Hello everybody, welcome back to Life Stories. My name is Trent and I hope you guys are all doing well. Today we got more stories coming at you from Reddit/entitledparents, so buckle in, because we're getting started now. Our first story is titled, "My son wants a go on your electric wheelchair. Get out so he can have a go." I've been browsing this sub for a while and never thought I would post on here. Oh, how I was wrong. Backstory. I'm a 29-year-old female and have been confined to a wheelchair since I was 17. I'm quadriplegic and can use a manual wheelchair at home, but use a power wheelchair in public for practical reasons. I have mostly full use of my upper body and partial use of my lower body. I've been mistaken for paraplegic a few times. This happened about a month ago before the crap hit the fan with COVID-19 in my town. I was downtown shopping for supplies for my inevitable self-isolation when I heard a deafening squeal of a child, about 12 years old. "Oh, that's a cool scooter! How fast does it go?" "Hey, thanks little man. Yeah, it goes pretty fast. Can I have a go?" Me, thinking he meant to sit on my lap and drive him around, which in any other scenario I would have been happy to do. "Sorry dude, but not today." The kid says, "Aw, okay," and stomps away, and I thought that was the end of it, but you know I wouldn't be here if it was. A few minutes later, I hear the ground start to tremble as the Megatron Karen approaches. Oh boy, I thought, this is gonna be fun. "Excuse me, what did you say to my son?" Me, confused. He wanted to ride in my wheelchair. I said no." "What did you just say to me? You need to respect your elders and not talk down to my poor little angel. You don't even need that wheelchair. I know your legs work. You're just faking it to get attention. Now let my son have a ride." She wouldn't have been much older than 35, so obviously not my elder. But even if my nan spoke to me like that, I wouldn't reply kindly. Me, with all of my patience officially gone, "My wheelchair cost more than your car, and you want me to miraculously heal out of my chair so your dirty crotch goblin can take a joyride? Okay." Here's where the story gets graphic. I have hypermobility, which makes my joints extremely flexible, and dislocation easy and relatively painless. I also have titanium screws inside my neck that creak loudly when I move a certain way. Bring on the Frankenstein. I lean forward and push down with my right arm, dislocating my shoulder blade with a loud pop, as I twisted my neck to make it creak, then pushed down on my left hand to contort my arm and hands in an unnatural position. This all happened in a few seconds, but it was enough to make Karen, red-faced and horrified, scream out, "Stop, it's okay! EK, let's go!" And they hurried out of the store. I could hear laughter coming from behind me as a friend who works there walked up to me and said, "That was mean." He knew me well and had seen me pull that trick before. Needless to say, I never had an issue like that again. It's a small town and news travels fast. Don't mess with the girl in the wheelchair. Hey, I mean, if there's one thing OP's taught us today is we have a new method for scaring away Karens. Just blow up all your bones and twist yourself into a pretzel. Foolproof. Moving along, our next story is titled, "Entitled Aunt Locks Our House 'Cause She Wants to Sell It." So people really wanted to know the other story about my other aunt. So backstory for those who haven't read the first one. I lived in my grandparents' house for 10 years. Both grandparents are dead and there's no will, so not sure what to do with the house. But Grandma's wish before dying was not to sell the house. About my aunt, she's married to her husband who has his business abroad and has one boy of my age. He's a really sweet kid and I love him to death. But she sent him to a boarding school for character development. She's also an alcoholic and hates my father and has no morals. So, now over to the actual story. Now, when we were in the house, we had everything bad happen to us. We lost money, my dad got his leg crushed under a bus, he also got cancer, I got depression and anxiety. My dad lost his job, and etc., etc. So basically, a bad omen. We moved about a year ago, and I kid you not, our life instantly became perfect, like amazing. See, the only reason we had to take trips back and forth in that house was because our old house was 220 square yards, and our current home is 110 square yards, so we couldn't fit all of our furniture in it. The house is just abandoned and dusty. So, my grandma died a few weeks ago, and after her death, my aunt, who's very hungry for money, has been trying to get my other psycho aunt convinced to sell the house, but they won't have a home after that, so she denies. Now, that woman at least wants to sell our floor. The house has a great value, so she really wants to get the money from it. Her husband returned from Thailand, where he lives, to attend the Katha, something done to pay final respects on the 4th day after the death. Now, we didn't go home, so we have no idea what the heck went on there, but my psycho aunt, who was kind of concerned, told us that the aunt came with her husband, and he put locks on her house, hence stopping us from doing anything in it. We had to get new stuff for our new home that we are going to move to in May, and we wanted to keep those things in that house because we have no space where we're living. Now, my aunt told my mom this, and we went there to accept the delivery. But Mom and Dad went to a locked house. She was restricting us from getting our personal property. There are books, cabinets, tables, Elmiras, and whatnot in that house. We can't get any of it now, because that lady thinks she's entitled to that house and our stuff. Don't make a communism joke. My mom's relatives, except my grandma and grandpa, hate my dad for some reason. They accused him of killing my grandpa, when it was my aunt who was responsible for it. It's a long story. They accused my dad of being a terrorist. Now let me tell you what. My dad is the sweetest human being I know. He's there to protect us, he handles whatever insults my mom's relatives throw at him, he works really hard for us, he even gives us luxury even in dire times and whatnot. I don't know why they hate him. He's such a nice man. I literally had to protect him at my grandma's funeral so that no one would say anything to him, and I was ready to fight if anyone did. Anyway, my dad didn't get angry or anything, but simply said this: "When we'll be able to move out, we'll take everything and never come back ever again." Everyone agreed. Now, we had totally let this go because we know how crazy of a person that woman and her husband is. But about a week ago, my mom received a call. My friend usually called at that time, so I thought it would be her, but it was the aunt. She was drunk and was saying some senseless crap. Here's how the conversation went. "I've filed a police report against you, and you'll get arrested if you try to break the locks." That doesn't make any sense. We have just as much right as you do over the house. You and your husband will not come near that house, and stop telling Aunt 2 crazy stories about not selling the house. Me, now realizing she thinks I'm my mom, we're not saying anything to her. You're insane. "And your husband, I'll make him pay, and he will suffer." At this point, I've had enough, and just want to make her shut up. I have no respect for her now, and I just went off. I have never said anything bad to her before, but yeah. Okay, now I can't take it. If you ever call here again, you will face consequences. You are no longer welcome to call here, and I will straight up block you. So here's the thing. My sister is the kind of person who has had to shut this woman up a lot of times, so she thought I was her. My sister is 23. My aunt, now calling me by my sister's name. "You disrespectful child! Give the phone to your mother this instant! She's my sister, and I have the right to talk to her." "I'm not my sister. I'm Sweet Satan, love. You just swore at a child." My aunt starts stuttering. No, you're lying. You can't be Sweet Satan, love. I know it's not." She has a very sensitive ego, and the thought of being told off by a child just broke her. "It is me. And now don't ever call us again, you drunk degenerate. Bye." I disconnected the call and blocked her. I don't know what scene will be created once we break the locks, but my mom and dad were proud of me for what I did. The fact that I was the one who said all this broke her completely. Dad was really angry that she swore at me and said I did good by not stooping to her level. Also, I was talking in front of my mom, and even though she knows I swear, she's never heard me do it, and I don't want to scar her. The sound of her sweet child swearing will break her. Anyway, this is my story, and I have some more about the EPs around me. I was the good child, so a lot of EPs took advantage of that. Let me know if you want to read more. See ya! Well, good on you for stepping up and, taking charge against your aunt. I mean, as I've said before on this channel, a lot of people kind of struggle with having toxic people in their family, and a lot of the times we're kind of expected to treat them with respect unconditionally, even though they may make our lives kind of miserable. it's not a bad thing to cut these people out, especially if you're old enough to make those decisions. So, good on you, OP, and I really genuinely hope things are going well for your family. And with that little life lesson out of the way that hopefully all of you would have known anyway, because I am not a good role model by any means, it's all the time we have for Life Stories today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode, and I hope you're all doing well during these crazy times. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you can get more content and you don't get bored while you're cooped up at home, hopefully staying safe. My name is Trent, and I hope to see you guys soon.